My name is Georges Babena. This is a full moon in Leo broadcast for January 25. This full moon in Leo will be at 5:55 Universal Time. Yeah, I know. And I'm looking at it from my perspective because I live in Germany. So this is exactly at 5:55 in Germany on the 25th. Now, if you live in Australia or America, it could be a difference slightly, so it could be a few hours later, or it could be a day later. Anyways, let's get to the forecast prediction. So for this full moon, we have a very interesting time, because you see we just entered the sign of Aquarius. So we're in Aquarius season now. And Pluto was in a conjunction with the Sun in Aquarius, which is going to be a 20-year transit until 2044, until Pluto leaves this sign and enters Pisces. So for that duration, there will be radical changes happening in our community, in our friendships. Now, I don't care about all this discussion about AI and technology. I don't give a shit about that. This aspect is specifically highlighting our need for honesty and transparency in our dealings with individuals surrounding us. The people that you interact with daily. There, Pluto is going to inspire change and create problems so that you can reveal yourself, become naked to others, so that the lies that uphold society at large can fall apart, so that people can show who they really are, so they can express their individuality, so they can be free to be themselves. And of course, this is a major theme of this anomaly, that is the Sun-Pluto conjunction entering Aquarius at the exact same time, the same day, which of course, like I mentioned in my previous videos, has never happened in the recorded history of mankind before. Okay, so if you're asking me, this is a time of radical individualism. Now, if you think we're already in the age of individualism, you've seen nothing yet. You've seen nothing yet. This is only the start. Until people come out. And of course, this is a perfect opportunity to tap into that energy on the Leo full moon. Because that's exactly the kind of tension we're dealing with. The tension with authorities, people who are in charge, people in government, the elite. People who think they could control how we live our lives with their structures, their rules, their laws, which are not our laws, which are not our structures. So, being pushed into boxes, living a life that is not your own, is no longer going to be possible once Pluto is done with you after 2044. Now, 20 years is a long time. So, you know, we can feel the pressure with Pluto, but there's no rush. You don't have to do everything at once. So if you're not sure how you can be more authentic in your relationships, or in whatever area that Pluto occupies in your chart, you know, you need to look. Because if you're a Leo rising, it's going to be in the 7th house or the 8th house. If you're an Aquarius rising, it's going to be in the 1st house or the 12th house. So wherever Pluto is in your chart, that is where the issues will be. And this full moon is going to highlight that. Because you see, a full moon is a Sun opposition moon transit, collectively. That means that both the Sun and the moon are opposing each other, and you know the Sun currently is together with Pluto. So together with Pluto, there is still a conjunction, because the Sun and the Moon will be in 5 degrees 15 on the 25th at 5:55 Universal Time. So in this conjunction with Pluto, Pluto will be opposing the Moon. And Pluto is a destabilizing influence. It destroys, deconstructs, and reconstructs, rebirths that area of your life that the Sun occupies at the time of the full moon. So look at the house of the 25th that the sun occupies in your Aquarius sign in your natal chart. Because that is where you will make something new about yourself, your self-image. Now, I talked about this in my previous video. Our self-image is going through a resurrection, is going through a reconstruction. But to do that, you need to destabilize and destroy anything that is not you, anything that is not your destiny. Pluto is about urgency. The time is now and the time has come to step into your destiny and fulfill it. If you don't fulfill it, let me create some discomfort. Let me create some pain. Let me destroy this, destroy that. Let me create stress, crisis, to force you to course correct to your optimal timeline. Now that optimal timeline, what that looks like is individual for everyone. But generally speaking, with Aquarius, it is a need for freedom in that area of your life. So Pluto is going to force you to create that freedom, one way or another, to unlock your self-image. Now, that part of your self-image that is being unlocked to assert itself freely and rebelliously against social conventions, against social expectations, against the rules of the system, it's going to involve your shadow. You see, Pluto is about shadow work. So it will be a rejected part of yourself that's going to be highlighted by the full moon. And because the moon is in Leo, you will feel the need, moon is need, to express yourself. But that part of yourself that seeks expression is a destabilizing influence on your life. You'll feel a loss of control on the full moon. You'll feel like if you have a problem that is pushed on you, a problem that society has forced you, a problem other people created, and you're supposed to fix it. How are you supposed to fix it? The shadow shows you how. Because the shadow shows the way. That part of you that you're afraid of, the part of you that you try to control, that you try to hide, is going to be highlighted. So it illuminates. As the full moon reflects our true self with Pluto, it reflects Pluto. You see, a full moon opposition to Pluto amplifies Pluto. Let's say we supercharge that Pluto. We give it all the love of the divine through that reflection of the moon's light. So there's nowhere to hide for our shadow. There's nowhere to hide for our vulnerabilities and our weaknesses, which are now being exposed, because our weaknesses reveal the strengths which we do not know we needed to express. Because it was rejected, society didn't want it. So we needed to control it, hide it. That is really the issue with Pluto conjunction Sun. So of course, if you have anything Plutonic in your natal chart, let's say you have Scorpio placements, let's say you have Sun conjunction Pluto, Sun conjunction Lilith, or any ascendant moon, any planet in an aspect to Pluto or Lilith, because they're both part of this shadow work. If shadow work is familiar to you, then you know it's not comfortable. I mean, we are always resisting our destiny. We're always trying to control our destiny. And what is our destiny? It's our will. The will of the true self we use in our body, in our DNA. Pluto is about evolution of consciousness. The evolution of consciousness happens with or without you. Right? We evolve with or without you. The collective changes, and those who refuse to change, what happens to them? They die. So that's why Pluto is the Lord of Death. With evolution comes death of the old. The old cloak, the facades, the mimics, the shadow personas. The cloak we choose to wear, which has become a comfortable piece of armor. An armor that we thought is going to protect us, to keep us safe. Oh, it's our security we're protecting here. And we believe we are in charge as long as the armor is in charge of us. Pluto shows you where you have given away your power. You've given your power away to comfort, security, stability, the promise of stagnation. Because really, what are you promised? You're promised money, you're promised reputation, you're promised acceptance by your peers, conformity to the status quo. Aquarius, the shadow of Aquarius here that Pluto is revealing is how you've been conforming, to put yourself in a box willingly, against your own will, against your own destiny. And Pluto says, I'm going to put an end to that. And if you resist, you're going to be depressed. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to be angry. Are you just going to suppress it? And for how long? Yes, you have until 2044. You have 20 years to keep suppressing. Are you really going to do that? Or are you going to pick up the pace now? Are you going to align yourself with Pluto now? Destiny is waiting for you. So how the destiny looks like is completely unique to your situation. But the full moon is going to show you. So you need to listen. This is very important, this event. You need to pay attention. Because what it's going to show you now, there's going to be nothing different happening over the next 20 years. This is it. The start of the process. And this process is called de-armoring. You know, I talk about this a lot in my work. This is a psychosomatic therapeutic work which every individual has to do to become an individual, to individuate and separate. This is what Carl Jung refers to as healing by integrating your lost soul parts. And if you're not doing that now, then life will be the teacher. Life will force you to make changes. Because the only thing that is certain is change. So change is coming for you. Like Saturn is coming. You know, when Saturn goes through a house. So now Pluto is coming for you on this full moon. And what is destabilizing here specifically, you know, the traditional meaning of a moon opposition Pluto transit is that it destabilizes your happiness, your sense of rootedness, your stability. It makes you feel like, I got nothing left to stand on. A foundation built on sand. You know, it represents the tower in tarot. We've gone through a collective tower moment recently. But it's not finished. Until this full moon is finished, which usually requires 3 days after the full moon, so it will be finished on the 28th. And perhaps then Sun will be moving out of Pluto's orbit once it goes to the 9th degree, because it's an 8-degree orbit traditionally speaking. After the 9th degree, the 28th, this little passage, this little initiation will be over for us. But do you know what the initiation is about? Have you been paying attention? Do you understand what you have to do moving forward? Ask yourself, is there a message? Is there something I need to change? Or is everything fine? Is everything stable? Everything good? Because Pluto is testing that. So this little test, it wants to see just how stable are you. Oh, little poke there. A little poke there. Sting it all. Zap you out of the box. Whatever box that may be. Maybe you're not sure. Maybe you think the box is all you have. Or maybe you're not aware you're in a box. I am aware. It's going to shake the box. So this could be hard for some people, you know, this Pluto opposition. It makes me think of, you know, when people, they lose control over their emotions. They become unpredictable and unstable. You know, some people could be going through a depression. This is also a very good time for suicide. Not that I'm recommending suicide, but this could be a good time for somebody to say bye-bye to something, to finish it. It's the ending of a cycle. So hopefully it's this ending of something bad and not something good. Obviously it's not going to end something good, because if something good is ending for you, it was false, it wasn't real, it's only an illusion. Because that's really how Pluto works. Okay, so let's pull out this chart. Yeah, let's look at this together. You see? You move this to the side. Okay. So it shows my time and my place. Noise, as you can see, that's where I live in Germany. It's in 5 degrees 15, the Sun-Moon opposition, at exactly 5:55 Universal Time, PM. It's a really funny time, yeah? 5:55. Somebody should look that up, like, what is it about? And it's on the 25th, too. Now, numerologically, 2 plus 5 is 7. And 7 has its own meaning, you know, I'm not a numerologist. But 5, number 5 is very significant because it's a 5:55. So this is the number of change. Change in a mercurial sense. Change in awareness, change in consciousness. Becoming aware of something that you weren't aware of before. And Pluto is going to dig that up. And it's going to involve your past, because the moon represents the past. It's the unconscious, which is being revealed, highlighted in the sign of the conscious self-expression, Leo. So creativity will be heightened at a time where your inner child is going to feel very, very strong. So this is good for inner child work and kind of therapeutic work. This is a good time also to have fun. Yeah, like some people, they will throw a party at this time. Others will go have some kind of event to be in the spotlight. But really, this could be difficult for some people. Because if you're in a spotlight now, when Pluto is on the Sun, they're going to see that what is wrong with you. Because everybody's flaws are being highlighted right now. So everybody's noticing everybody's issues, everybody's problems. And the moon makes a yacht, a finger of God. So that's quite peculiar, because you can see this mystical triangle here. Yeah, let me make it bigger. See this? So there's a mystical triangle, a green on the moon. And the blind spot is what this is. A yacht represents a sense of urgency, like, oh, I'm about to explode, I need to do it now. It's an extreme tension that comes from these two planets, from Saturn and from, who is doing this? This is Mercury? Mars? Who is doing this? It looks like it's Demeter. Now this is an asteroid that I use. God damn it, man. You can't really see. In any case, it doesn't matter, honestly. A yacht is a yacht. And a yacht means we feel something very strongly. We feel the need to express that thing. But once it's expressed, it's going to change our destiny. Of course, you don't really change destiny. But it's going to change everything that's happening. So this is about making a decision. And this is a decision that involves your mental health, your happiness. So it also involves your vitality and your energy. Because the sun is deposited by Leo. And that sun is conjunction Pluto. And Pluto is a planet of regeneration. So whatever decision you make now at this full moon is going to regenerate a lot of untapped, blocked, hidden resources inside of you. So this is a very, very good time to make good. What do you want in life? What do you want to achieve? Because whatever that thing is, it's going to require energy to do it. It's going to require ambition, drive. And this Leo full moon is going to show you how to get that drive, how to find it. So if you're planning on a ritual, if you're going to an event, think about it. What is the ambition that I want to fulfill? How do I get more energy in my life? And where do I get it from? Because the energy you get is derived from your sense of self. How do you feel about yourself? Your self-worth, your self-esteem. They're questioned right now by Pluto. Pluto is asking, what makes you think you're the shit? Because you need to be the shit. If you're not the shit, you're not it. And you know, what's weak is going to be left behind. So people who have a very weak self-esteem, a weak ego, because this is all ego energies, right? The sun Leo deposited by the moon Leo. I mean the sun Pluto. The ego is going to be the main issue. There could be ego clashes, So if you're going to an event with other people, with friends, with a community, you could have an ego clash with somebody. And this is because whoever is clashing with you, or if you're doing the clashing, it's highlighting our insecurities. So this is a very good time to address them. I like this because, I love it. When I get into a circle of people and somebody's insecurities are coming out by the person attacking somebody who is actually secure, who's actually doing well. Do you know these kinds of people? You know these kinds of people who have so low self-esteem, they feel threatened by those who have a healthy ego. With those who feel good about themselves, so just minding their own business, and suddenly this insecure person is projecting all their insecurities onto them, saying, oh, they're arrogant. Oh, they think they're better than me? Well, maybe they are better than you. And you're shown by Pluto right now that you are not the shit, but they are. So Pluto is forcing us to realize, who's really the shit? Who's really in charge? Who's healthy? Healthy. Who's a safe person? Because people who have a low self-esteem, they're not safe people. Eventually, that low self-esteem, it affects others because it's an energetic frequency thing. It is not a judgment at all. This is just Pluto speaking. Let's imagine, for role play's sake, because people take it so personal when I talk about these things, but we need to talk about them. So let's say I am Pluto. Okay, I'm Pluto right now, and I'm telling you that if you have low self-esteem, you are suffering from jealousy. At some point you will be envious of somebody, because if you go into a group of friends, Aquarius thing, and there is somebody who has everything that you lack, that you wish you had, and that being the source of your insecurities and your low self-esteem, you of course will be envious of them, and you feel needy for that thing. It will be impossible for you to ignore it, because you see, self-esteem is everything. It gives you vitality, life force. We're talking about the sun. I mean, come on. It's the center of your personality. If the core of your being is weak, if the core of your being is easily threatened, challenged, easily at the bottom, you're low energy. And you know what people with low energy are? It's low frequency. Oh, you don't like that? You don't want to be low frequency? Well, then you need to work on yourself, because you see, there are things you can control and there's things you can't control. So the things you can't control, why are you upset about them? Why don't you accept your destiny? Oh, you don't know your destiny. You don't know why you're important. You don't know what you're supposed to do. You don't know your purpose. So that's what you need to know. That's what you need to find out. Because that's what Pluto is about. Once you know your purpose, you know exactly what you're supposed to do. You know exactly where you're supposed to be. Low self-esteem, are you kidding? Low self-esteem is a lack of self-awareness. And that's another very painful truth that Pluto is trying to teach us. So here the role-playing ends. I'm not Pluto anymore. I'm just trying to tell everyone that this is everything this full moon is about. You know, we don't need to look at the other planets. We don't need to look at aspects. You know, every other astrologer, they just look at the aspects one by one. And I'm going to do this next, but I needed to take some time on this as well. So next, you see in this chart, we have Mercury conjunction Mars in Capricorn on that full moon. I mean, what the heck? This is a déjà vu. You know this happened before. This happened in December. There was actually a Mercury in retrograde conjunction Mars in Sagittarius. Yeah, and there was also like a full moon or something like in Gemini. Was it the month before? I don't know. But there was something happening, and there was Mercury conjunction Mars again. So this is repetition. You know, what happens usually at the time is that you feel like you need to speak up. You need to communicate something. It's very important. Your mind feels strong. Because Mars is ego. Again, ego energies. And ego energies are very strong with Capricorn. Because Mars loves Capricorn. The task that I need to fulfill. The problem I need to solve. So this is a very, very good time to get some shit done in the intellectual pursuits. So this is a very good time to finish a project with your mind. You know, if you're trying to figure something out, to get the information, Mars is going to give you energy to get it done. And of course, Mercury wants to communicate something. So many people, they will get a message at this time of a full moon. Somebody reaching out to you, somebody wanting to communicate with you. And there's two options. Either you're going to communicate back and then you're going to talk about your goals, things you want to achieve, because it's Capricorn. I mean, it's not exactly having fun energy, but this is very entrepreneurial because Cardinal, Capricorn with Leo, and then Aquarius. Saturn's influence is still very strong. So this is very rational, very cold Leo moon. You know, it's not the kind of Leo moon where it's like, everything's fun, everything's party. No. This is more negatively oriented, you know. And we're going to think more negatively about our future, which we want to do something about, because it's going to irritate us, you know. It's going to be something that irritates us and we need to do something about it. Something you become aware of. Something somebody tells you, and then you need to act. So this is option one. Number two, it could be that you need to make a boundary with somebody. This is actually something happening for me. I need to cut yet again something off. It's very uncomfortable, can be difficult, but sometimes all you need to do is say no. So there's something you may need to say no to on this full moon. And it's going to come in, with speed, like it's going to come in your face. It's going to be like, la, 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 la. It's going to try to distract you from what you're actually trying to do, what you're actually supposed to be doing. There could be lots of distractions. There's a lot of activity going on when Mars is conjunction Mercury in Capricorn. So if you're in a business, if you're in a job, in your career, there will be lots of things happening at that time. There could be a lot of work to be done. And this can be very distracting from what's really happening with Pluto and the Sun. Because this is a very spiritual full moon. But there's some kind of issues here, So it could be difficult to really take your time. It's good to take breaks. I would not schedule anything on the full moon. If you're planning on doing something, better do it after the full moon. Don't do it during. If you're planning to start something new, don't. Your mind is going to go whoa, back and forth. And you want your mind to be as calm, as rooted, as grounded as possible if you want to fix whatever problem comes up. Because if you're already distracted, it's going to make you very emotional. It's going to get you into your head, and you don't want that. So that's good to know for this full moon. And what else is going on here? I mean, Uranus is going to go direct very soon, but it's not yet. There is a square between Jupiter and both the Sun and the Moon. Interesting. Generally speaking, that's not a negative aspect, because Jupiter aspects to the Moon and Sun, it just means something is trying to get you to expand, to do more, to be more, to push you out of wherever you are. So allow yourself to be a little bit pushed. Allow yourself to break a few boundaries. Slowly, because Taurus, Jupiter, if you go too fast, you're just gonna get into an accident or something. So then there's Mercury, a ton of squares with the nodes and with Chiron. Yeah, that's curious. There's an issue actually. There could be some kind of issues with our head. Brain-related issues with our thinking. Yeah, being kind of thinking too much about something where like we're thinking about something that could concern our health, our mental health. And this mental health issue could have to do with perfectionism or fixing a problem. And we need to learn how to become stronger, more resilient, and more assertive. And what is also very interesting about this whole aspect is that it highlights this need of the Sun to be the center of importance. Because Chiron in Aries is a wound, it's conjunction the North Node. It's only 3 degrees away from it now. So people are going to feel this. We're not in February yet. But once we get into February, this Chiron North Node conjunction is going to highlight our wound, where we feel like our will, our desires, our ambitions don't matter. And Pluto and the Sun is saying right now, wait a second, here's your ambitions, here's your desires. If they're not important, you're not important. If you're not going after what you want, it's a self-esteem issue. Highlight it again. And this could actually cause health problems for people with their head, eyes, brain, skin, anything with a brain. And then it could also lead to overthinking. This could also lead to issues in communication. This could lead to issues in unresolved anger, repressed anger. Anger is what we use to protect ourselves against things that we do not want. Now, if we have rejected our own wants, We rejected our anger. Because of course we're doing something we don't want to do, so that's the whole Chiron issue. It's very interesting because, I've been looking into this recently, and I've been getting a lot of messages in that area. And I can tell you one message. Most people in the spiritual communities, most people who are also watching these videos, like the video I'm making now, full moon videos, their issue is that they come out of a family where they didn't matter. They didn't matter. Their material desires, their material needs, their sense of self-importance, their emotions, their feelings, their desires, their dreams, these things had a very, very low level of priority for the primary caregivers. So then the person is looking inwards, wondering, well, if this world doesn't matter, aka me don't matter, yeah. If you say the world doesn't matter, that's a projection. It's you who don't matter, because you are in this world. So if you say the world doesn't matter, it's you who don't matter in the eyes of a parent. And then you look into spirituality and you're wondering, how do I get out of here? How do I get to a place that actually matters? When actually, it was all about you. It was all about getting what you want. And this issue, it ties into perfectionism. It ties into judging ourselves too harshly. Being so hard on ourselves, we become monks. We abstain. We block ourselves. We see this in so many communities. This is a repeating theme for the collective, where people become stoic, robotic, disciplined. What discipline is used to suppress the attachments that the parent didn't care about. Okay. And the Chiron issue is, Chiron is a teacher. Chiron is trying to teach you about Aries, about your identity. And your identity is founded on the spark of God, the first spark, which is your first desire, which you had as you incarnated into a physical body. So when the physical body becomes an extension, your actions, your choices, your decisions. Aries is all about, I'm in charge, I make good decisions. So the decisions you make are based on that unconscious drive. That Chiron says, oh, you didn't fulfill it. Oh, you didn't do that. What are you doing then? So now your health needs to show you. Mentally, physically, your relationships, your career. Somewhere your health needs to break down for you to realize you didn't do this. You didn't do what you wanted. You were not aware of how important it is. That attachment that those Buddhists told you you're supposed to reject, right? Or this Buddhist vomit. I hate it, actually. You know what? I hate all of this nonsense, this programming, this delusional split between the mind and the body, the heart and the head, where people get into their heads, stuck. And then we're like, why am I stuck in my head? Why am I so anxious? Why am I so unhappy? Why am I so unfulfilled? Why am I trying to get out of here? Why is this so painful? Why am I suffering? Why do I need to leave this world? Because you're not in this world. You're not present. You're not in your body. You're not in your desires. You're detaching like a Buddhist. So you're already leaving. And those who are leaving, they have to suffer. They have to suffer because their life is breaking down. It's a frequency of dissolving and being destroyed by your own self-neglect, which is a repetition, compulsion of the parent neglecting you. So you do it to yourself. So that's Chiron in Aries in a nutshell. So now that you know a little bit more about that aspect. Moving forward, with this North Node, I mean, North Node is, we're drunk in that aspect. We don't know what we're doing. We have no idea how to get to that thing, but we need to. We need to. Because if we don't, have problems. So there could be a lot of purging going on this time. I wouldn't be surprised. So when you have Saturn and Pisces still sitting there, Neptune and Pisces still sitting there, it does take a little bit longer until Neptune leaves that sign. So for now, there's still a lot of need for self-awareness. That's the lesson of Saturn. A lesson of self-awareness. All of these aspects are very, very, very focused on the self. Yeah, this is a very spiritual time. And that full moon is going to highlight that again. So there's really nothing new about this full moon. I don't even need to make this video. I mean, I'm just preaching to the choir here. Because whatever is going to happen after this, you're going to be aware of something that you weren't aware of before, and you know you need to do it. You need to change that thing. So, you can do it now, or you can wait for the next full moon, I don't know. So what are you waiting for? And if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, well, you have at least 2 years. Yeah? Because Saturn is going to spend a lot of time in Pisces to become aware of how your mental health matters. How your mental health manifests physical results in your life. That's Saturn in Pisces. Very interesting. Saturn likes Pisces actually. Because, we need to be connected to these higher realms. We need to understand how this has created this. How fantasy, imagination, has created the physical and affected it. If we don't understand this, we don't understand karma. We don't understand Saturn. So that's why Saturn is in joy, whatever that means, whoever made up these ridiculous terms, is happy in Pisces. Okay? So, that's all I have to say really about this full moon. I'm going to end it here. So, let's eliminate this. So if you found this helpful, leave a like and subscribe if you're watching it on YouTube. And if you're interested in a personal reading, if you're interested how this full moon is affecting you going forward, how this Pluto in Aquarius is going to affect you by house, sign, aspect, or if you're just interested in a personal natal chart reading, you can reach out to me on Messenger or email. I'm available on Facebook anytime for readings one-on-one. And I will be doing these full moon, new moon videos monthly. So if you subscribe to my channel or you follow my Facebook, you will stay updated to these regular videos so you can have a forecast of what is psychologically important to know about each time these events take place. And of course I do also these regular updates because I'm working with the unconscious here on my channel. So I'm looking at the psychological things that we need to be aware of at any time, everything that's in the focus. And these things, it's like a cosmic clock telling you, okay, this is what I'm doing now. This is what I'm doing next. This is the problem. So once you know the problem, you know the solution. And this is why your natal chart is so interesting and so important. So if you want to learn about this, I also sell a course. I teach all of this stuff one-on-one. So you can sign up for that on my channel. And if you want to see more videos like this, just stay updated and stay tuned. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.